All right, as we were discussing earlier, Gauteng has allocated 40.8 billion rand to education in its budget presented this week. That's a whopping 38% of the entire budget. Also, additional funding, of course, from the national government for universities and technical and vocational education and training colleges, or TVET colleges for short. Tonight we thought we'd catch up on the state of artisan training. National government trying to enforce the notion that it's cool to be a 21st century artisan. Is that message trickling down? To discuss, we're joined by Melanie Malema from a private technical college, Sparrow College. Thank you for being with us, Melanie. Let's just start. Gauteng, for example, wants to be an innovation hub, but you need not only doctors and lawyers, you need a whole lot of supporting skills in hospitality, construction, things like that. Is that message getting through?
I believe that government has embarked on, as you said, the catchphrase, artisans, it's cool to be an artisan in the 21st century. So most definitely the drive is there. Government is pushing for that, and I think industry is also realizing that if we're not going to train up more artisans, this is slowing our economy down. So there definitely is a drive. I think obviously it's never enough.
And government, industry rather, has always spoken about this gap in what they need, what company needs, and what's coming through the educational system. In what you've seen, is that gap in any way decreasing?
Look, I mean, it's quite a difficult question to answer, because I'm sure in some industries you are seeing the gap, getting smaller. And then in some industries, it's probably, it's still very big, it's wide. But industry is definitely committed to training and to seeing that they have to train up artisans, they have to train up young people, and that young people have to be encouraged to go to TVET colleges, and that universities are not the only option for them. And so we have a large pool of students that do not qualify to go to university, and this is an ideal opportunity for them to actually apply to TVET colleges.
So you mentioned industry support, and I'd love to talk about your model. How does Sparrow work? Because you are supported by industry, and it sounds like very unusually for a private college, a lot of the students don't have to pay.
That's correct. Yes, we are a unique model, and when we set up about 7 years ago, of course, we had the intention of saying we were going to charge students because it's a business, but we also a social enterprise, and we realized that our students are not going to be able to pay the fees. And so we decided to look at another model and approach industry and say to them, make your training spend with us and support a young person to become an artisan. That doesn't only mean that they actually give this young person a bursary or a scholarship, but it means that when the young person is finished with us, they're guaranteed workplace exposure, which is the key and fundamental area that needs to be addressed. And these young people need to be given this opportunity to go and do work experience. And that is the success of our model, because when they finish the theoretical training and simulated workshop environment training with us, they move on to the actual company that sponsored them and go and do their work experience, and that is how they get employed. Because why should a company go out and look for somebody else when they've spent money on this young person and they've been with them for 6 months? They employ them.
So it probably means a high placement figure as well. The students basically guaranteed jobs. Is it working like that?
I'd be very wary to say that they're all guaranteed jobs, because a lot depends on, the industry. If it's, for instance, in the mining industry and they take a dip, then, we wouldn't be able to place as many learners. But we are showing, in 2016, we showed 60% across all our programs, and we run 9 programs. We showed a 60% uptake of employment. And I think, that figure in an environment where our unemployment rate is so high.
Staggering, yeah.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. Yeah.
Tell me more. Which companies are on board? Which industries are really benefiting? Where are you seeing this model really take hold?
So I'll give you one example, and one of the companies that have really supported in terms of hospitality. We have a partnership with Sparrow, and they have been partnering with us for over 4 years now, and you've just seen the results. So we train up young people in the hospitality space, and then they are put back into a spa store, and ultimately they get employed.
What sort of jobs?
They would be employed as assistant chefs in the stores. We've also partnered now with Tohosan, and we have a group of learners now who are across Tohosan hotels, and they would be employed in the hot and cold kitchens in these 5-star hotels. So the opportunities are just phenomenal. Also in manufacturing and engineering, we've partnered with Imperial, and the students there go on to work at an Imperial garage, which could be Mercedes-Benz, BMW, VW, and we act as a feeder for Imperial, in that from our program the learners then go on to do an apprenticeship with Imperial, which guarantees employment.
Let's just clarify, this is not why you and I are both wearing red. Complete coincidence. What are you hearing from students? I heard a while back that, you know, there's no consistency. There's different standards across different TVET colleges. So students firstly have to pick one and hope that they're picking a good one that'll stand them instead for what they want to do. And then, of course, there's so much information. And how do you even start deciding, okay, I need to be an artisan? Maybe you don't know exactly what you want to do. Is there enough information, or maybe is there too much? Do you know what I mean? Are the students getting what they need?
I think firstly we'd have to go back. I think information and career guidance needs to start at primary school level. We need to promote the training of artisans, and that has to start way back there in primary school and up to high school. So that would be the first thing that I would say. I think there definitely is a lot of information out there around TVET colleges, whether it be private or public. But I think the challenge is that young people don't know what career path they want to follow. So in desperation, they then just land up going to register for a particular course, and they don't even know what it's all about, because I think career guidance is not being it's not being enforced enough in schools. They're not clear on what they actually would like to do when they get to matric or
And you were saying those artisans could go and speak to the students.
Well, yeah,
chefs,
I mean,
mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, those, it's very simple. You could use simple exercises like having those, it's peer-to-peer always works better. I mean, you can take these young artisans now who've qualified, and that's what we do as well, and you can have them go and speak to students at primary school, speak to students at high schools and say to them, look, I am an electrician, I am a plumber, I am a motor mechanic, and I've got a qualification. And I'm not sitting at home and waiting to work in a bank, or what has always been portrayed as a better career path. And we also know that artisans can actually earn very good salaries, but because the artisan space allows you as well to follow the path of becoming an entrepreneur, because once you have a skill, you could be working, but over weekends,
you don't have to work for somebody else. Thank you so much. This has been great. Melanie Malema from Sparrow College there.